and welcome to Mic'd Up Morgantown, the official podcast of the city of Morgantown, West Virginia. I'm your host, Brad Riffee, and we're excited to have you join us today. We have some incredible guests, and today's episode is all about fire safety and a very special new team member who's making headlines. We're introducing Morgantown's newest four-legged firefighter, Chance, an accelerant detection canine trained to help investigate suspicious fires and keep our community safe. Also joining us today are Chief Gary Freshour, Captain Jason Quinn, and Chance's handler, Deputy Billy Lyons. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So let's start off with how this all came to be. How did Chance make it to the Morgantown Fire Department?
We've talked about trying to get this program started for many years. And back in 2024, we decided that we were going to apply. And we reached out to our grant writer, Robin Hess. She helped us with the application. And we applied through the ATF. And us and the city of Charleston were also awarded a dog about a month apart. So we're very excited that she's here with us now.
I know we are. I know staff is, the community is. What an incredible resource for the Morgantown Fire Department. Chief, can you kind of talk about the Morgantown Fire Department and how Chance plays into the public safety aspect?
Sure. So obviously fire's in the name.
Right.
So that's the bread and butter of what we do. We also deal with EMS calls, all kinds of rescues, technical rescues, whether they're water, dive, rope, hazardous materials. And then on the prevention side, we have public education,
Okay.
which the dog will play into. We do a lot of inspections.
The fun stuff, right? We get to go out to the schools, interact with the kids.
Exactly. And then on top of the inspections, they also do investigations. And so that's where we intend on her keeping her home from the field.
Wonderful. So not only will Chance be working specifically here in Morgantown, right? There is a partnership with the ATF as well. So is Chance not only a resource for Morgantown, but possibly our region?
So the idea behind when two cities, because until this past year, there had never been ATF dogs in West Virginia. So when two cities applied, one being northern and one being a southern, the ATF looked at the opportunity and realized that they could cover the entire state, hopefully, with these two dogs, a northern and a southern dog. So that was an appealing side to them to give two dogs to the state. So with that, she has, she'll respond kind of regionally. She's been to Preston County already. She's been to Marion County already. So she is a regional response dog, and she can be activated along with Billy to go to a regional disaster somewhere.
Well, this is incredible. So it's probably not only it's a commitment, right? This is a huge commitment for us, and we're very thankful for it. And again, we have Deputy Fire Marshal Billy Lyons with us today. Can you talk a little bit about the training that's involved? And I imagine you've also probably acquired a new family member, right?
Oh yeah. So she's great. So we train twice a day at a minimum, daily. That's the only way she gets food. Everything's food-based reward program. So her daily training consists of going out, setting up a scenario where I'll put out accelerants in different areas for her to find, whether it be in a crack in the ground, on the handle of a car, on a set of stairs, along the side of a building, and then we'll conduct a search. So we'll search through the area. The proper order of operations is, so we're conducting our search, she has a change in behavior, and then she gives her final display, which is to sit down. Like change of behavior is going to be something along the lines of like excited nose, like, when they start sniffing a lot and they start puffing out, that's them clearing the sinuses to have more receptors activated for detecting that accelerant. And she'll sit down when she's sure that that's where it is. And I'll reward her. So first reward is praise. Second reward is food, because I can get praise out quicker than I can get the food out. Otherwise,
Sure.
she'd just take the food. And then she'll reconfirm. I'll ask her again to show me, and she'll put her nose right on it, sit down and show me again, and she'll get praise and food again. And so we'll do that twice a day at a minimum, just to make sure that she's getting her daily ration of food. And anytime we go out on a call, I have to deduct whatever I use on that call. Like when we went down to Preston County, I went to do that call. I have to keep track of how much food I give her at that call, looking for any accelerant or anything, and I have to deduct that because their weight is very strictly monitored.
Okay.
Since it's a food-based reward program, she can only plus or minus 3 pounds from her ideal weight. Otherwise, I'm going to get a call from the vet, like, "What are you doing to our dog?"
Sure. Right. Well, it's like the rest of the department. You all stay fit. I know that exercise and that is a regiment that you all build into your daily lives. So I guess it rings true for Chance as well.
Yeah.
Can you maybe you talked about Preston County? Maybe you visited some other areas with Chance outside of Morgantown already. Maybe have used her abilities in different communities. Can you provide a few real world examples of how dogs like Chance can make a difference in solving some of these cases, these arson cases that we're looking at?
Sure. So her very first case, she went down, and there was essentially no physical evidence that was present at the scene. They had a potential maybe suspect, but nothing was confirmed yet. So she went down to her first scene and had 2 hits, which came back positive from the state lab for detection of presence of accelerants. So then it's not a one and done. You still have to tie that accelerant to why it was in that place and who was there and who had it on them. Like, it's just another piece of evidence for an investigator to use in a potential arson.
So before Chance, did we have to utilize resources outside of the city if we experience these types of incidents?
We have some equipment. We have it's a sniffing device, basically. It's an electronic device um, it's just a tool. It's
Sure.
not extremely accurate, but there is a accelerant detection canine in Allegheny County up near Pittsburgh that we've utilized for years and who has been great to come down anytime we've ever asked. Um, but now we have that capability in-house. So it took some stress off of her. She doesn't have to come down here anymore because Pittsburgh is a massive city and she stays busy enough up there. So, she's very happy that Chance is now here.
I bet. We are too. What an incredible opportunity. When we think about our public safety, sometimes we forget all of the things that are involved, specifically maybe our canines. So to have this resource for the city of Morgantown, it's really a game changer. And I think I've heard you say that. Can you talk a little bit more about like what maybe the future has in store for Chance and how maybe you see this service developing over the next few years?
Well, the good thing about getting into the program is once you're in the system at the ATF, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, he does what he's supposed to do with Chance. And we follow their rules because this dog is still theirs. We'll probably be in that system forever as long as, it can be funded through the city management and the council approving funds. It's exciting times. So
And
it
an
really is.
invaluable resource for the community. You
Yes.
guys are always going above and beyond when it comes to response. I'm in communications. I work closely with you, the Morgantown Police Department, and uh, I, I know the calls you get, and I know how quickly we have to be there in the moment. So to be able to bring Chance with you to investigate something, I'm sure that also speeds up the process of the investigation as well, which is a huge benefit to your department. Is that right?
Yeah. Chain of custody, preservation of evidence, all that stuff plays a role in an investigation. And the last time we had an external canine come in, it involved a house explosion,
Mm.
severely burned individuals, and a couple fire fatalities. So time was kind of important. We waited an hour and a half for her to show up, and to have that ability in house and be, it's just one less hand in the pie now because so now that chain of custody of evidence is all maintained within the house of our own people. It puts the department and the city on a map that very few places in the whole United States can say they have that ability.
Sure.
The uniqueness is that a lot of these canines go to more state agencies.
Okay.
So Morgantown is one of 22 municipalities that actually has this capability. It really sets us apart.
How can residents support the fire department? I know obviously fire safety is one. That's something that I know our fire marshals are focused on every single day of their lives. How can folks maybe reach out if they have some questions about fire safety? Let's say maybe they don't realize they have enough fire alarms in their home.
Mm-hmm.
How can they get in touch with the fire department? How can they connect to those resources?
They can reach out to me at my office. My number's 304-284-7485. You can call me. All the advice and the tips that you'll want to hear from us. That's what we do every day. Going back on your question, what can the public do to help us out? So the bottom line is, I don't think anybody in the fire department ever wants to go to anybody's house that's on fire or somebody's in a bad emergency. But unfortunately, things happen and we get called. So a lot of it is basic housekeeping and maintaining of homes, of heating systems, of fireplaces, of chimneys, changing your clocks, you change your batteries and your smoke alarms twice a year. So you can always call us. If we've had very elderly people call and say, "Hey, I can't change my battery because I can't get on a ladder." And I believe actually Billy went out and changed his battery for him over near the stadium. If someone is in a situation where they may not have the money to purchase a smoke alarm or a carbon monoxide alarm, we have those that we could come install for you for no charge.
Great.
Some fire extinguishers, if you need one, we can provide that. And it's all based off of availability, but we have some stock of that stuff and we're always here to help.
Awesome.
And if they run into something when our guys are there, we keep all that stuff on the engines too.
Okay.
So all they have to do is say something to, if the crews responded to a carbon monoxide alarm and then they determine that the detector's faulty, a lot of times they'll just offer to replace it for free right there.
Yes.
They have that stuff in the trucks.
That's another incredible service, the accessibility and just the willingness to always be there when somebody calls, picks up the phone and says, "Hey, I need some help." And I think that's, me personally, and I know the community is very thankful for the services you provide, obviously life-saving and very serious. So I know your jobs are not easy. So thank you very much for what you do and for, again, the dedication and commitment you show to the city of Morgantown.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Mic'd Up Morgantown. Stay tuned to see who's mic'd up next. What would you like to know about the city of Morgantown? Send in your questions to Mic'd Up Morgantown and make sure to follow us on all social media.